In one of the battles of the Muslims, their army was surrounding the Romans, besieging them in their fortress, when a Muslim man, a hafiz of the Quran, and one who led the prayers, saw through the fortress a beautiful woman. And instead of lowering his gaze, he kept looking at her until he couldn't stand it anymore. He went to the Romans and asked to speak with her, telling her he wanted to marry her. She refused because he was a Muslim, so he left Islam just to marry her. Years went by, and the same man was recognized on the streets. He looked like a servant carrying things for the Roman soldiers. When asked how he left Islam despite all the Quran he memorized and all the Iman he used to have, he replied that it was a fitnah. He said that he completely forgot the Quran, as he never memorized it before, and the only ayah he still remembered, رُبَّمَا يَوَدُّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَوْ كَانُوا مُسْلِمِينَ. The day will come when the disbelievers will certainly wish they had submitted to Allah. These days, brothers and sisters, people disregard the importance of lowering the gaze, especially when fitna is surrounding us from all angles. It is accessible to us now with social media that lowering our gaze becoming harder and harder. Allah musta'an. You see fitna in the streets, in the movies, in the ads, even in games sometimes, especially if you live in a non-Muslim country. If you don't control your gaze, it can open the door to many fitna. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have commanded us to lower our gaze because it is a form of protection to us. He has blessed us with an ability to see. And instead of protecting it from fitna, we tarnish it with all the fitna that we look at. Allah musta'an. It's so harder to control our desires after seeing the fitna. It would be better and easier just lowering our gaze from the start, because all that you will see isn't allowed for you to see or enjoy in the first place. So why put yourself in a situation? But it's easier said than done. Lowering our gaze is extremely difficult nowadays. How can we be able to keep our gaze low? We will find, inshallah, in the next